I would like to spend a few words about going back to what Paolо was like right now saying. We're in an age of crisis. And this is China's character for crisis. Is it really so bad living in an age of crisis? Well, let's try and follow up a few ideas. The Chinese word of crisis is made of two Chinese characters. This one, stands for danger. And this is exactly where we are. We're facing a lot of dangers. Why? Well, there are a few things happening. Regulation. The customers are increasingly being empowered by regulators, and new entrants can enter what used to be in the past very safe industries. Consumer trends. All of you know that our consumers are increasingly informed. Doesn't matter whether you are a GP or whether you are a banker, someone will come and visit you and will show that he has or she has a much higher amount of information than even 5 years ago. And as a result, consumers are increasingly demanding. We keep receiving complaints from our customers in the city about what we put online. They expect more, much more. Technology. Technology is something else that is changing so fast. So you can do more things with less. You don't need as much money as you need in the past. You don't need to write so much code, and you don't need as much hardware as you did in the past. Another issue is you really have to develop all things, or you can mesh them. There are great things you can do with mesh apps, and this will compress the market, will reduce costs, and will increase the familiarity the user has with what they're doing. Screen proliferation. This is something that you have to bear in mind. We spend more time interacting with screens than with human beings. Every day, a standard consumer, average consumer, checks her mobile phone, a smartphone, 150 times a day. 150 times a day. And then, not all screens are the same. There are screens that you use, screens do have a context. You use a tablet at home while watching TV, and it's something that you share with your kids, and you use a smartphone on the move, and you do all sorts of things because a smartphone is very private. And a PC is an entirely different experience. And now we have smart TVs coming and additional screens that are coming. So all this is, for sure, is a danger, but is also a great opportunity. And this is the other side of the Chinese character for crisis. This is opportunities, the Chinese character for opportunity. Why? Well, because now you can do so many new things. You can pay without a bank. You can transfer money without having an account with a bank. And this is great. There are companies like Google, M-Pesa, Square, that started from different perspectives, with different technology to help you send money without using a wire transfer, and if possible, without even having a bank account. M-Pesa is in Africa. Square and Google Wallet are in the US, and as you possibly know, a couple of weeks ago, they both announced that you can transfer money, you can actually attach money to your email. And you think about this, how weird it sounds? You attach money to an email? Wow. Where is the IBAN code? Where are all these crappy things that bankers are familiar with? Yeah, then what you can do, you can also crowdfund your startup, your business or dreams. You don't need to go to a bank. Think about Kickstarter. Okay? Think about what Alibaba is doing in China. They are lending money to people that are selling goods on their platform, and they got to the same cost of risk as banks, but the point is that they don't pay for data. So basically, they are more efficient than a bank. Why? Because they leverage their own big data. Or also think about the Lending Club. The Lending Club is just like a peer-to-peer initiative that lets you get money from other people, and they got recently 150 million US from Google. You can monitor your body closely, so you can measure what's happening to your body, just like because you have devices and that they're keeping track of what's happening on your body. And there's this new expression of life logging that is going to be increasingly popular in the months to come because of Google Glasses. Okay, so this is absolutely great. You can now, not only you can interact with people, but you can have an interaction with objects, and you can make objects interact with them, between them. So you have things like Lift or Tado or Wimo that lets you just like manage objects, interaction with objects in a way that is as seamless as what you do with human beings. This is great. Wow. Well, is there something that all these initiatives do have in common? Yes. From my point of view, they managed to find the right way of being in between what the business, what is sustainable from a point of view, from a business point of view, what is feasible from a technical point of view, and what customers desire. Yeah? There's not, we usually tend to do things here. We stay always in between the technical feasibility and the business sustainability, but we never listen to customers. How do you listen to customers? Well, you have to shift away from the idea that you care about this nice intersection between business and technology, and you bring the perspective of the customer in. Well, it's just like make two examples. How would you make this convenient? If I use this, it's like a nail trimmer. If I use this, I won't be able to trim my nails while I'm watching TV. And it would be nice for me to watch TV and trim my nails. Well, simply, how do I make it convenient? I simply put a piece of plastic and my nails don't red out. Yeah? Easy, easy. Think about this. How do I make, this is just like standard crossing. How can I make it shorter? How can I make people cross faster? Basically, I use a shortcut. So the first example is about convenience, and this is about shortcuts. Bear in mind, when you're talking about shortcuts, you're talking about user desires. You're not talking about the old bad intersection. So, what does it mean when it comes to the mobile? Well, there are for me a couple of good examples that recently came up with a proposition that is exactly at the very intersection. One is Mailbox, it's an application for the iPhone, and the other one is Summary. So Mailbox puts the payoff, put the email in its place. And what they do? Well, basically, it's changing your email experience. How? Well, they give a priority to your communication flow. They connect communication to do list in a very seamless way. And they embed navigation ingestions. You don't have to go to menus. You simply move your hands on the screen. Well, this nice application was recently bought for 100 million US from Dropbox. The second example I want to talk to you is a summary. What the payoff is pocket-sized news for the iPhone, news you want now. This was started by a guy who was 16 years old, and what is behind this is the idea of streamlining your daily information intake. How? Well, progressive disclosure, meaning I show you only the information you need at that very moment in time, nothing more. I don't do crappy things. I leverage natural language summarizing capability that the technology has built, and still back again, you do embed navigation ingestion. Well, the guy there got rich. He got 30 million US from him, just like a few weeks ago. 2 deals of application that stayed on the market as independent applications, just like for a limited period of time. So how do you get there? Now here I want to just like share with you something of some of my our experience in developing the mobile franchise of UniCredit in the city. Well, there are 4 things you do. You fix things, you tweak things, you disrupt things, and you harmonize them. Okay? Let's see some examples. This is what we say by fixing. So you start from something and you try to make it a little bit more beautiful. You don't change anything. You simply make things a little bit more, it's not only more beautiful. Here you see numbers. I mean, banking, on the left-hand side, are just like all numbers are the same. Here, the real numbers, the real important numbers are the receiving priority. But you're not doing anything. You're not changing. You're not adding. You're simply fixing things. Then you tweak things. So you go back to what you have and you think, can I improve it? Can I make it more easy to use? Yeah, this is like one example of a menu, and this is another example of the same menu that is always staying everywhere. Here, in this menu, whenever I have to go to have access to this menu, I have all the time to go back. And this on the right-hand side, this UniCredit menu is always visible. You press, doesn't matter in which screen of the application you are. At some point, then you decide that you're not happy. So this is what we did here. We had this very nice menu that is a little bit better than what we had, but we were not happy. So we started from here and said, oh, this is cool, but we ate it. So we said, why don't we try and embed a business logic in the navigation logic? And we started sketching this thing. We said, a bank has basically 2 dimensions for it. Or basically, when you think about your money as a customer and think about a bank, you basically think about 2 dimensions. Whether you owe money to the bank or whether you have money in the bank, and then whether you want to see your money or whether you want to move your money. So, and we started playing with this, and we just like say, if we play with this, what we can get? Well, basically we can get to what is this an infographic. So here is the entire navigation logic of a very complex mobile banking application. You just need gestures. If you don't, you still have the menu. How? You press here, you open. And when you're done with this, after disrupting things, you have to harmonize. And for harmonizing, you have to make sure that everything runs smoothly up to the smallest detail. And this should be playing. Okay. And this is the end result. It's a great day, I'm feeling good. Oh, the possibilities of what I could. Oh, doing the world at my fingertips. My imagination brings a smile to my lips. Oh, fascinating, I'm moving fast. Oh, I'm optimistic as the days go past. Oh, opportunity is here for me. So come along and take a look because I want you to see. The ball is yours, look a little bit closer if you want it all. So we say fixing, tweaking, disrupting, and harmonizing. Is there any special order you use? No, there is no order. You can start from here, go here, 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 or you can start from here and go here, and then go here. So basically, it doesn't matter the process or whether there is an order enough that you do this. But there is one thing that you have to bear in mind. At some point, you have to make decisions because to be consistent when you're developing an application, you have at some point to make decisions, to converge on something that goes on screen and that is going to be eventually used by your customers. But you have also to bear in mind that if you want to make sound decisions before, you have to create choices. So don't keep just like a limited set of options among which you want to make decisions. It's better just like to open up and eventually make a final decision. Thank you.